Chapter 6 of A Different Cowboy by Joe Jones. The sun shines through the curtains and covers Tessa's pretty face. She opens her eyes to find herself in Johnny's arms. Her head lay across his chest. She gets up slowly not to wake him. She walks over to the doorway and looks back at him sleeping. She softly bites her lip and smiles. She walks outside to gather some eggs for breakfast. Ranger sees her and neighs. She walks over and starts petting him and says, "Hey, good morning, stallion." "Are you talking to me or my horse?" she hears from behind her. She turns to see Johnny standing there with a cup of coffee in his hand, wearing only jeans. "Well, cowboy, I can't say I'm disappointed." Johnny smiles. "Neither can I." They smile at each other. She blushes and looks down. "Got a cup of coffee waiting for you inside on the table," he tells her. "Okay, I'll see you inside. I'm going to get some eggs for breakfast." Johnny winks at her and walks back in. He walks back to the room to continue getting dressed. Tessa walks back to the back of the house, to the chicken coop. The chickens squawk and fuss as she moves them off their nest to collect the eggs. She has 4 in her basket when she hears a familiar sound. She looks out of the chicken coop to see a cowboy coming down the valley. Her eyes get big when she sees a rifle by his side. He continues down the valley towards the house. She sprints back to the house and swings the door open, calling out to Johnny, screaming, "Johnny, we got trouble coming! A cowboy with a gun coming down the hill fast!" Johnny jumps to his feet after only just getting his boots on. He grabs a rifle and rushes past Tessa, telling her to go to the room and wait. He looks out of the window to see a cowboy coming closer. "Damn, here we go again," he says to himself. He takes a deep breath and cocks his rifle as he waits for the horse hooves to stop. They stop, and he hears the cowboy's feet hit the dirt. At that moment, Johnny kicks the door open and screams, "Get on the ground!" as he points his rifle at the cowboy, who is wearing a bandana over his face. The cowboy raises his hands in the air. Johnny instructs the cowboy to lay his pistol on the ground and kick it to him. "Hey, don't even think about touching that rifle saddled to your horse." The masked cowboy begins to laugh behind his bandana. "You think this is funny?" says Johnny. "Who sent you? The sheriff?" The cowboy begins to slowly lower his arms. Johnny fires a warning shot right next to his foot. "You think this is a joke? I'm not playing, mister." Tessa hears the gunshot from the room and begins to come to the front of the house. Johnny cocks his gun again and says, "One more chance, partner. Who sent you?" Then the cowboy speaks with a familiar voice and says, "Damn, boy, I knew I was in the right place." Johnny squints his eyes and begins to lower his rifle. "Sam?" "You guessed it." "Why the hell are you wearing a bandana over your face? You look like a damn outlaw." Sam picks up his pistol and puts it back in his holster and says, "Remember, Johnny, the whole town wants y'all dead. And I'm living in town right now. I couldn't let anyone see me coming here. I told you I'd keep an ear out and come find you if I had any information. Well, I got some news for you, Johnny." As he says this, the front door opens and Tessa looks out. "Everything okay, Johnny?" "Yes, dear. Come on out. There's someone here I want you to meet." She walks out on the front porch, and Sam removes his bandana from his face and takes off his hat. Sam introduces himself and says, "So you're the lovely lady I've been hearing about. The one who stole Johnny's heart. Has he stolen yours?" She looks at Johnny and grins. "Yes, he has." "Sam's a good guy. He's on our side, darling." Johnny tells her. Well, Mr. Sam, would you like to join us for breakfast? She asks. I'd love to, he replies. They walk back in the house and Sam and Johnny sit down at the table. Johnny, I heard what happened the other day out here. The sheriff sent that outlaw here to shoot you both. Word got back to the sheriff that you was only wounded. He tied that outlaw to the back of his horse and drug him through town for everyone to see. He wants you all dead, Johnny. Johnny hears this news and rubs his mustache. Tessa puts the food on the table and sits down with them. Thank you, ma'am. Sam looks at Tessa and Johnny and says, I guess there's no separating y'all. Johnny rubs butter on his biscuit and looks at Sam and says, Not a chance. Sam takes a deep breath and says, Well, that's why I'm here. Got some news from town I overheard last night. Sheriff's gathering up a posse tonight. Gonna come here and burn down this house tonight. Burn this house down? Shouts Tessa. Johnny, we can't let them burn my house down. It's okay, honey. We're not gonna allow them to do that, Johnny assures her. Sam looks at them. Way I see it, you've got two choices. Move to another town, and I mean right now, or stay and fight. Johnny looks at Tessa. Johnny, this is my home, she says. He reaches out and grabs her hand. They have dictated every minute of my life as a slave. Now that I'm a free woman, I'll be damned if they try to take away my home. If this home burns to the ground, then I go with it, but I am not running from them any longer, Johnny. You show me how to use one of them guns, and I will fight until God tells me my time is up. Johnny looks back across the table at Sam and says, She's worth fighting for, and so is our love. We're staying, no matter what. Let them bring the fires of hell tonight, but it won't touch this house. He leans over to Tessa and they kiss each other as he rubs her hand. I figured you'd say that, cowboy. That's why I got a posse of our own waiting in town, says Sam. Who? Asks Johnny. Me and a couple of your amigos. There's still a few of us in town that believe in what's right. You know, the forefathers may not have believed it at the time they wrote it, but when they said every man is created equal, I took that to heart. Man, woman, black or white, we're all the same. Sam gets up to walk out of the door. He turns around as he opens it and looks at Tessa and says, You got the spirit of a cowboy in you too. She looks at him puzzled and asks, How is that? Sam answers by saying, Never back down from a fight. With this statement, he walks out of the door and heads back to town to gather their posse and get them ready for the hell that awaited that evening. Tessa looks at Johnny and then at his rifle by the door. You're serious, he says. Teach me, she replies. As the day progresses, they find themselves behind the house shooting at old bottles Johnny had pulled out of his wagon. Drink a lot? Tessa asks as he puts another whiskey bottle up. Well, used to. You just get tired of it after you find a beautiful woman. Johnny raises the rifle and aims at the bottle and again demonstrates how to shoot it. All right, darling, your turn. Hold it just like I did. Yep, just like that. Put the butt of the gun against your shoulder and look down the barrel. And aim at the bottle. And gently pull against the trigger. Okay, now don't pull too hard or you'll pull the gun in that direction by accident. See, the key to... She fires and hits the bottle on the first shot before Johnny can even finish his sentence. Whoa, Tess. Good shot. You sure you've never shot a gun before? She grins and says, Only 1,000,000 times in my head back when I was a slave. She aims again and hits the next 2 bottles. Well, honey, your practice over the years has paid off. You're a natural, says Johnny. She cocks the gun and puts it by her side. I'm ready, she states. Later that afternoon, they hear the many horses galloping and grab their weapons. They see the group of cowboys come over the hill. It's Sam, Johnny says as he puts his pistol down. Sam and the others arrive. I brought your amigos, he says to Johnny. Johnny shakes their hands and thanks them for coming. What's their names? Asks Sam. Juan, Armando, and Jose, Johnny replies. Good men, Sam states. You fellas can put them horses in the back. I don't want them outlaws knowing we're here. We're gonna surprise the hell out of them. Night falls. As they all wait in the front of the house, guns ready, hours pass. Tessa leans on Johnny, sleeping in the chair beside his. Armando's head bobs as he tries to stay awake. Sam sips his cup of coffee as he looks through the window. You sure they're coming, Sam? What if they were just fooling about? It's got to be at least 4 a.m. now, Johnny states. Sam looks at Johnny and says, Oh, they're coming. They planned a surprise attack, I told you. Minutes go by with nothing but the sounds of Juan snoring. Then, horses' hoofs pounding the earth. Johnny looks alert and says, All right, everyone wake up, here they come. Open all the windows and be ready to fire. Everyone get in position. They gather in groups of 2 on the inside of each of the 3 windows. They see 8 men riding horses, 2 with torches in their hands. They're going to have to get pretty close with those torches to torch the house, says one. No, they're smarter than that, says Sam. Look at the other guy. He's got a Molotov in his hand. They're going to use those torches to light it on fire and then try to throw it through the windows. Once that bottle breaks, the alcohol will spread the flames quicker than anything you've ever seen. Tessa, still hiding behind the wall next to the window with her rifle in her hand, asks, Do you know who they are? No, they've all got bags on their heads. I can't see any of them, but here they come. They're getting closer, Johnny says. Johnny sticks the tip of his rifle out of the window, and the others do the same. Tessa takes aim on the guy with the Molotov in his hand, and the outlaws stop. The leader of the pack begins to shout racist profanity directed towards the couple. Light 'em up! Shouts the leader. One man leans the torch over and lights the fuel-soaked rag in the whiskey bottle. The outlaw raises it over the top of his head to throw it. As he does, Tessa fires the first shot, hitting the bottle in his hand, causing the flaming alcohol to explode on top of him and 2 others. Fire! Johnny screams. The posse in the house shoot at the outlaws relentlessly. The outlaws, still on their horses, begin to fire back. Flames separate the 2 groups as an outlaw lay burning on the front grass. Smoke fills the night sky, dimming the moon, as gun smoke fills the house. An outlaw is shot and falls off the horse. The horse runs away from the battle into the darkness. Then Armando screams. He is hit in the shoulder, and then the chest, taking his life instantly. He dies on the kitchen floor. The sound of gunfire coming from inside the house is deafening. Tessa continues to fire, killing another outlaw. He slumps over the saddle and the horse takes off with him into the distance. The leader of the posse sees that they are losing the battle, and he tells the others to fall back. He takes the bag off of his face, revealing it's the sheriff. Another one takes a bag off his head, revealing it's Johnny's paw. The sheriff sees Johnny looking through the window and yells, You're dead, boy! You and that black woman in there! You hear me? Dead! He screams through the flames. Johnny begins to reload his gun, and Tessa stands up and walks to the front door, kicking it open.
Tessa!
Johnny yells to her. The sheriff, who was already retreating by that time, turns his horse around and looks at Tessa and says, "There you are." She aims her rifle and fires 6 shots through the flames, hitting the sheriff with every bullet. "Here I am, and there you go," she says as he falls to the ground face first in the dirt. This concludes Chapter 6 of A Different Cowboy by Joe Jones. Please let us know what you think in the comments below. Thank you.